I come to Pennsylvania. I work with a foundation called the National Character Education Foundation. We speak to about 150,000 students a year here in the United States, and we go overseas almost every couple of months. We do a lot of schools in Israel, and now we go into like Egypt and different countries, and the UK, and also Asia and Africa. And so my heart is to do school assemblies, talking to students about not giving up one, but that how words affect people is another thing. So that's kind of like the background of what I do. You look back in life, you go, okay, maybe I went through some of this stuff so I can do what I can do now. And so you think about highlights, there's things like that. There's different places that you go to, like you've spoken in, like from a bomb shelter in Israel to a stadium in South America to places all over in India. In January, we'll be speaking to an outdoor rally of over 1 million people outside and doing assembly for it. So there's different highlights, different things like that, but you'll never forget the stories and the people that you meet, the faces.
His senior year of college, he walked across the stage. It was graduation day with his cap, his gown on. He got his degree in his hands, and he realized he made it. When everyone made fun of him, when everyone talked behind his back or even called him retarded, that day he made it. And that little boy, who became a young man, he went on with his life. And today, that young man is me. And that's my story. See, I'm not some ex-athlete. I wasn't the popular person in school. I'm just someone that everyone is called a joke.
I was doing a school assembly in Moon Township, Pennsylvania. And so I'm doing this assembly. It's an elementary school, and it's about 500 kids sitting on the ground. And I stopped halfway through my story. I said, don't ever believe a lie when someone tells you you're not special. Halfway down the right-hand side, a little boy, 4th grader, he had Down syndrome. He jumped to his feet. He starts screaming, I'm special, I'm special. Well, he starts tapping the students around and goes, hey, I'm special, I'm special, I'm special. When the teacher's trying to get him to sit down, because he's kind of being a distraction, she's all, sit down, sit down. He turns to the teacher and goes, but I'm special.
Don't ever believe a lie when someone tells you you're not special, because you are. You're not an accident and you're not a mistake, but you have a purpose and a destiny on this planet. Don't ever believe that lie.
Finally, he did sit down. Well, I got done with assembly that day. The principal was closing out the time. I slipped off the stage. I walked down the side of the gymnasium and got to where that little boy was and got down on my knee. And I took my wristband out of my pocket, one of the ones I have on. And I slipped it onto his wrist. And he looks at me and goes, I'm special. I said, yes, you are. Well, I think one of the reasons why I do what I do is, the traveling can be so tiring. Staying in hotels. I'm on the road 280 days of the year with my family, and being delayed flights or misconnecting, all that can be wearing after a while. But when you go into a school and you speak and someone walks up to you and says, hey, thanks for coming to school, you changed my mind. Or I get an email or something on Facebook saying, hey, I was going to kill myself today, but you came to my school.
But I'm willing to relive my life in front of everybody, the worst good thing. Because I know there might be someone here at the sound of my voice. Maybe you feel like giving up. Maybe you've come to school today and you say, I can't do it. Maybe things at home are just falling apart. Maybe there's been a relationship in your life and that person has hurt you. I want you to know today, you can't give up. We need you. See, suicide's our permanent solution to a temporary problem. Your tough times, they'll get better. My tough times, believe it or not, they've gotten better.
It's stuff like that, that really motivates you. There's different things I've had over the years turn into me. A knife from a little boy who had cerebral palsy in Rio, California. He was going to kill himself, but he gave me his knife instead. There's a lot of different highlights that you have. I just wrote a little thing about that, how there's highlights in your career. And I just had a highlight about a week ago. I think I talked about this in the assembly, was that I was in Venezuela. We had over 10,000 people, or 18,000, whatever it was, the number was, in this bullfighting arena. And I shared my story, and they gave me a 2.5-minute standing ovation. They started chanting in Spanish, never give up, never give up, never give up. And I was just standing there watching, and I was just bawling like a baby, just crying. And I thought, man, I can't believe this is happening. So those are the things that motivate you. It's not the travel, it's not the maybe the prestige of, I go around the world. It's impacting people's lives. And then when people write back to you how it affects your life, it kind of motivates you, even when you're tired. And so that's kind of been a highlight for me, is that I have the most rewarding job in the world. And I'll never forget, it was about a year and a half ago, I was in a place called Merced, California. I did this basketball award night. There was a little boy, his name was Ty. Well, the very next day, Ty was on his house, on his property. He went out to go scare his dad. He was driving on a lawnmower. And so he went up behind his dad to kind of scare him. Well, he didn't know his dad was going in reverse. And he backed over Ty's leg and cut off his foot. Well, they had a helicopter all the way to Sacramento from Merced, which is about a 3-hour drive. Well, I got a phone call asking me if I would go visit him in the hospital on Monday. So I'm walking through Children's Hospital in Sacramento, and I'm carrying a baseball bat and a frying pan. I think I'm the only guy walking through the hospital with a baseball bat and a frying pan. And they're talking to Ty, and they're saying, hey, remember what Jon said, you can't give up, you can't give up. I walk in there and I talk to him, I go, I just want to come and cheer you up and say how special you are, not to give up. Well, I brought a bat and a frying pan. I was going to roll up and break the bat just for him. And I was about to give him the baseball bat. He goes, no. He goes, Jon, can you give it to Devin? Devin needs it more than I do. He goes, you just coming here is enough for me. Well, I gave it to Devin, and I talked to Ty that day. And I started walking on. I go, Ty, remember, don't give up. And they're bringing a gurney in to take him to his second surgery. He looks at me and he goes, today was the greatest day ever in my life. I thought, here they're going to remove part of this guy's leg. And today's the greatest day because I was there. Oh, I realized I do have the greatest job in the world. My freshman year in high school, I walked on the campus as a skinny freshman. Didn't know where I was going. I was lost. I was confused. No, I mean, I've had a lot of different people who've influenced my life, different people who've mentored me. Mr. Edwards didn't just help me find my class that day. He's the man who taught me how to read. He worked on my speech with flashcards. He helped me with my homework every day after school. My junior year in high school, Mr. Edwards left to become a principal up in the state of Oregon. He never saw me graduate from high school or college or see the stuff I do here today. But several years ago, I got invited to speak at a conference for businessmen in Oakland, California at the Oakland Convention Center. I walk into this convention center, arena, whatever you want to call it, and there's thousands and thousands of businessmen there. I share my story, and they give me a standing ovation. I jumped off the stage in front of everybody. I didn't care who was watching, who was looking. And I got to the back of that arena, and I threw my arms around him. I said, Mr. Edwards, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today. He said, Jon, I'm so proud of you. I started to turn back and walk back towards the stage. I looked back at him one last time. I go, Mr. Edwards, you still helping kids? He had a smile on his face. He said, every day. Every day. You don't hear it loud enough or often enough, but today I want to say thank you for what you're doing. Don't ever give up. So for Mr. Edwards and for me, thank you for what you're doing. Students, right now, would you give a big hand for your teachers right now?